right, welcome to Virgin episode number 6 of Be in the Middle. I'm here with my two loyal co-hosts, Benjamin Rice. What's going on?
Not much, man.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm not on the receiving end this week of the topic, so I'm like looking forward to talking about it, man.
Good. And Shane, how are you, buddy?
I'm feeling okay.
Yeah?
I'm feeling pretty good.
We'll get into why you're feeling a little different today, but we got a fourth guest here, a special guest. He is a good friend of mine and my shaman, Jimmy Castillo. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. So blessed. I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about these beautiful subject matters and what I do.
Yeah, he's I fly Jimmy out, or not fly. I transport him out from San Diego, get him a hotel, and FedEx him. We box him up once a month, typically, to do Kambo. And I know last episode we spoke a lot about ayahuasca, but my maintenance for my immune system and keep my peptides really high is Kambo. And so I did it this morning. This is like my day that I do it. And Jimmy's sitting there and we're doing it. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you come on my show tonight? And luckily, I got him 2 nights. He's here tonight. So
I'm here.
So here he is. And before we jump in, I wanted to show a quick clip of a formulation Jimmy came up with, because he's not just a shaman. He's like a chemist, man. He works with cannabinoids and puts together a lot of different tinctures in the cannabis space. And one in particular has really heavy, good uses for Parkinson's. And so I just want to show you guys this quick clip that I think got like 8 million views or something. It's called Ride with Larry.
600 million.
600 million?
600 million.
600 million
All over
views?
the world, yeah.
That's crazy.
Those are calculated.
So you came up with this and you patented it, right?
I did.
You patented it, and so if you're dealing with Parkinson's, you can buy this. So why don't we play that clip real quick on the magic of this tincture?
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Come in.
Good to see you. How you feeling?
It's been a bit of a rough week.
Really? And the best way to take it is put it under your tongue and rub it in your cheek. Don't do too much. You're going to be asleep all afternoon. You know what you should do?
No.
Don't try to communicate. Just relax. See what happens.
We know from animal experiments that the endogenous cannabinoid system is very important in regulating motor activity, that very type of activity that is impaired in Parkinson's disease. From animal experiments, we also know that boosting certain branches of the endocannabinoid system is helpful in relieving symptoms of Parkinson's. Finally, from anecdotal information, we know that certain patients who smoke marijuana experience relief of their symptoms.
I think you're calmed down.
So quickly.
Isn't that amazing?
He used just a single drop, and his hands afterwards were rock steady, and the dyskinesia left.
The voice is coming back.
It works most of the time.
In fact, it's... Did you guys eat lunch?
Are you hungry now?
Funny I am. Actually,
A person like me could really use marijuana. It makes me pretty angry that I can't get it in my home state.
So that was what, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Tell me about your journey on coming up with that formulation, the motivation behind it.
So wait, just to clarify, you made the product that he just took.
I did, yes.
Oh, that's amazing. I've actually seen that video and I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's how we all connected. Yeah.
Trip
It was
out.
actually designed like that. We didn't want to do a commercial for me. We wanted to show people what this medicine can do. I got into cannabis for my sister. She was battling cancer, and I was just looking for some help for her so she could go through chemotherapy. And when she passed in 2010, it really like lit the fire underneath me. By that time, I had already read so much stuff from Israel, from Spain, from all these different countries that were researching cannabinoids and cancer. And so, I started my mission there. And, um, at first it was everything was focused on cancer patients. And um, then I started meeting older people that, had Parkinson's and family members that had epilepsy. And so my trajectory changed a little bit, still focusing on pain and healing the body, the endocannabinoid system, but also looking for things that weren't grown in the mainstream, like CBGs, CBDs, CBNs, these other cannabinoids that can really help. And I had the pleasure of working with a man named Lou Rubin. He's the guy who actually gave Larry this medicine. And when he first came into my office, he was like a rigid, like just completely rigid. His family like drug him in to the office, and I seen him take a little tiny dab of some ACDC that I had created, and his whole body just opened up, and he just started talking to me, and um, he became like one of my Parkinson's friends that helped me like design that medicine by allowing me to change the cannabinoid profiles to see what was helping him the longest and the most efficiently. And um, during that time, he's advocating to his friends, obviously, because this medicine worked. When it works, and you want to share with everybody. So he starts advocating to his friend, and Larry's from South Dakota. He's a retired police captain, and his wife's a professor, and they were at first really reluctant because of the programming, because of what his job was.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
And it took us about a year and a half to convince him to come out here to California to try. And this is the result. And unfortunately, Larry went back home and he had to make a choice. He had to break the law or to suffer. And the last 9 years of his life, he chose to not break the law. And so now South Dakota has medical marijuana. His wife advocated very diligently for that. And it was, unfortunately, he had already passed by the time that happened, but really powerful.
It's amazing. And how can somebody get that formulation now?
Through Jenny's Rose, you could go on our website, and if you're in California, we're still working on getting it into other places. As you mentioned, I have some patents on the activation of the cannabinoids. So a lot of ways that the cannabinoids are made through heat, because you have to activate the acidic into the active formulation or active compounds. And a lot of times during that, the heat destroys the minor cannabinoids or destroys the flavonoids and the terpenes and some of the compounds we don't even know about yet. There's still a lot we don't know about. And so my process allows for everything to be activated in a really short amount of time with the lowest temperature in the world. And so we're able to keep more of those cannabinoids. And, a lot of my clients or people that have come to me, especially like Larry and Lou and definitely parents of children, they don't want their kids, or they don't want to get high. The elderly people don't want to get high, but they want relief. So that became my focus on how to give people relief without getting them stoned. And in doing that, figuring out that, these cannabinoids are the most powerful ones. THC is great. CBD is great. But they're not needed as an excessive that we use them in. So we can use them in smaller amounts as long as we have these other cannabinoids that are synergistic with the CBD and the THC.
So this will not get you high.
If you take enough of it, it
It
will
will.
get you high, but at the right dosages, at the recommended dosage. And again, that's why I came into tinctures and started using the tincture instead of the raw oil, which he took the raw oil. But tinctures are a little bit easier for people to titrate to find their therapeutic dose, right? And what we believe is the therapeutic dose is like just right below high. And you could always like titrate that up, get your CB1 receptors balanced to the THC, so you could take higher doses as you go up in your journey. But mostly our goal is to do those
Stabilize it.
stabilize the endocannabinoid system.
And there's a couple different variations. You have like one for sleep,
Yeah.
full spectrum, right? I think my wife is using the sleep one.
Yeah, we launched for Jenny's Rose 3 of the 72 formulations that we have.
There's 72 that are
72.
patented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the 3 that we came out with were like the most versatile. Some of the things that I noticed in working with people is that most people who suffer from some sort of disease don't sleep. They have sleeping issues. And so, right away, one of the goals that I had was to help people sleep. We know cannabis makes us tired, makes us, drowsy, the CBN in it, you get that couch lock. So I started looking for ways to help people sleep, but also to where they wouldn't wake up groggy.
Yeah.
Right. That too, like that high intense. A lot of people think that taking a lot of THC will help them sleep, but what happens is it converts to Delta 11, and sometimes, well, a lot of times you wake up like groggy and that high effect, and like you gotta almost like have a shot of espresso next to your bed to get up.
Yeah.
So we designed something that would help you get to sleep, help you shut your mind off, and help you stay asleep without a high amount of THC. And then we have the daytime, which is a great formulation for just managing your day. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's great for everything. There's a lot of energy in it. And then we have our 20-to-1, which is we have them in ratios, but there's a lot of different cannabinoids in there. The 20-to-1, which is our daytime, pretty much anybody could use it. You won't get high. You could pretty much drink the whole bottle.
You won't get
You won't get high. So it's good for people who, want to get that inflammatory relief or some relaxation without getting high.
You spoke a little bit about, the stigma behind the use of cannabinoids and THC. And for a police officer from South Dakota,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard sell to begin with. But the results, when you see something like that, you wonder why people are so hesitant. I see so many people out here, even in California, even in the liberal state like California, working in Sun City, Palm Desert, where I have lots of elderly people coming in who are overusing benzodiazepines, overusing Ambien constantly, have no problem filling it like clockwork 2 days early every single month. Would never, then you could say, well, would you like to try some CBDs? Would and totally disinterested in that.
Yeah.
And you wonder, but it's the culture. It's part of how we are as Americans. And we've just decided that, especially that generation, that there's nothing that's bad, that's evil.
Yeah.
Well, we've allowed the pharmaceutical company to define the conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
We've allowed them to pump all the money, all the ads, do all the things, right? And it's kind of fascinating what just happened down in Texas, where pharmaceutical industry had given the lieutenant governor like a bunch of money. And so he worked super hard to try and ban any product with THC, because obviously the farm bill with the THCA opened the doors. And he, after a couple of years of working on this, he got it passed. But then the pharmaceutical industry, I guess, hadn't given Greg Abbott enough money, and Greg Abbott vetoed it. And I'm actually really
You got to pay off
suspicious.
the right guys. That's what
No,
it is.
I'm really suspicious that like the hemp industry was like, we're not going to fight this at the bill level. We'll just give all our money to the governor. And if that's what happened, it worked. I mean, it's actually incredible, but it's absurd. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry doesn't like this, because all of a sudden you don't need to take Ambien. You don't need to take Percocet. You don't need to take Xanax, whatever.
And those drugs are in the top 100 most dispensed drugs in America.
That's crazy.
All of those.
And this could knock out 8 of the top, like 8,
Yeah.
10 of them, right? With these formulations and just alternatives.
I was just even reading about, well, we're here eventually talking about Kambo, and I was, doing a lot of research because I was really frightened about what I was going to see or experience today if I decided to go through with it. And one of the peptides, they had a randomized placebo-controlled trial. It was intrathecal administration of the endomorphins or dormorphins.
Yes.
And it was intrathecal administration, and it went up against morphine, and it was superior. It was found in a randomized placebo-controlled trial for post-operative pain to be superior to morphine.
So there was a lot there. So this peptide is one of the peptides you get from Kambo.
Correct.
Cool.
One of the peptides found in Kambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong
No,
here.
you're right. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history and like exactly the difference between some shamans on the venom that they choose to use versus where you source it, and just a little bit about like exactly what we're doing, like the science behind it, the methodology, the history, wherever you want to go with it, but just kind of educate, because even I don't know 100% of what, like I've read a lot, but I know you know a lot more.
So For sure. So there's quite a few legends, if you will, on how Kambo came about. My favorite one and the one that resonates the most with me is one of the tribes. The whole tribe was sick. Everybody was really sick, and the maestro, the shaman, took some ayahuasca, went out into the jungle, and sat with the medicine in ayahuasca in the jungle, and she showed him the frog, and was like, "This is the frog that you're going to use to heal your people." And so that maestro took it back to the people, and the ayahuasca guided him, showed him all the steps that he needed to apply this medicine. Which you guys are calling it a poison, and yes, it is a poison if you eat it. If it's a poison for other animals, the monkey tree frog is one of the like chillest animals in the jungle. You think like the king of the jungle is like a lion or something like that. Nobody messes with the monkey tree frog. Nobody. So it does whatever it wants. It always around. It's on the trees. It's like
No one's eating it.
no one's eating it. Nah, nope, nobody's messing with it. They're like, okay, you're cool. You're running the show out here. And yet, we apply it on our skin, and it turns into this amazing miracle. These peptides. The way that it enters. So the maestro went out there and learned how to do it through ayahuasca, and then brought it back into his tribe. And the legend says that he healed his whole tribe with it. And then they also started seeing that like the hunters had more energy. They were able to get closer to the animals because they didn't smell like human. They were their energy. Animals pick up energy. They pick up sense, smell, energy.
And your vision too.
Yeah.
Your vision is like,
The
first time I did this, my vision was like
clarity.
everything. Like colors were like so bright. And I was like, dude, what's up with my vision? I'm like, oh yeah, that's one of the things. You knocked off a bunch of whatever was on your cortex or whatever on your vision and cleared it out. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, it's 100% the clarity that you see. I have people coming out of ceremonies, like older people too, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't see like the definition in those plants, and now they're seeing that in the color. It's pretty amazing. But so they brought it back, started healing the tribe, and then started giving it to the hunters. And the hunters went out and started doing these. They would do these long combo ceremonies. Like we're doing like 3, 7, 8 dots. These guys are doing like 20, 60, 80 dots. And then going out and hunting. In the Amazon, some of the tribes, they'll put the gates on you, and then they'll rub the frog on you, so they don't even like make it into dots. Traditionally, the maestros used to spit onto the knife, and then you would spit onto the knife, and he would put both your salivas into it and mix it in, and that's how they would administer it. Because of COVID, those type of things stopped.
A little more sanitary now.
Yeah, I've never done it because we're here in the West, and people are kind of are worried about germs and stuff like that, even though you're doing combo. But so that was traditionally how it's done. As far as like the modalities and the science behind it is pretty simple. It's actually just a group of peptides. There's 15 different peptides that we know of in there. It enters in through these little gates that you were talking about. We just take the top layer of skin. It's not like a branding. We're not trying to like make big holes. We're not trying to get you to bleed. We just want to open up that top layer of skin. And once the medicine's active with the water or saliva placed on the skin, you start feeling the peptides entering the body immediately. And these peptides, man, there's so many different things that they do. Reduce the cortisol levels, reduce inflammation, pain relief. We've actually monitored many people as they're on this medicine with heart monitors, and it's really not even going up above like what a normal workout would be.
Mm-hmm.
But because you can feel everything in your body, you feel like it's like just boom, 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 boom. But it's just really just going like a little bit above like a workout, It's amazing though. And for me, I found that each one of these medicines that I work with are like a point in people's journey, right? And for instance, like cannabis, it's a beautiful plant. It's brings so much relief and comfort. And sometimes in dire pain and in traumatic situations, we need that. We need that comfort of cannabis to help us, relax. Also, what it does for the endocannabinoid system. But the thing about cannabis is, especially when it comes to disease and emotional things, it doesn't help us release the trauma. You know, we still hold on to the trauma. It just makes it comfortable to live in that trauma, you know, and we find ways to navigate our life like that. And what I found is if we didn't address the trauma, the disease would just manifest in another place, in another way. The life still is having some type of situation. And Kambo, when I was brought to this medicine, and I'll share my story with Kambo because I almost walked out of my first ceremony. You know, I was in a room of 20 people and I seen this girl's hand go up and she started screaming and I'm like, I'm out of here. Our friend Los's mom was there that day, and she was one person before me, and she champed it. She was like Buddha, you know. She just like got her bucket, purged into it, you know, came back up, purged into it. I was like, I have to stay.
Yeah. Mom did it.
Mom did it. Yeah, I gotta stay. Yeah, no walking out on this one. But what I found was Kambo helps people relieve that energy that's stuck. You know, it helps people with the trauma. So many physical things go on with that medicine, which is great. But to relieve the trauma that we hold on to is huge, right? Because we hold on to trauma from everything, from relationships, from our parents, from, you know, car accidents. Mine was a motorcycle accident. And so being able to help people release that trauma has been huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I know there's 2 other medicines, Kambo's, if you guys want to still talk about Kambo, but it's the medicine that I chose to be like, it's definitely more body, because you don't hallucinate,
Yeah.
you know, at all. And I look at it as like maintenance for me with the peptides. And ayahuasca was something that really cleared all my trauma, but there'll be times where I'm stressed out and whatnot, and I'll sit down and do Kambo with you, and I just start breaking down crying. And I purge more energy than bile.
And just to clarify, you did Kambo today.
Correct.
Yes.
So tell me how that went.
Well, you know, I went there as a scientist and I wanted to observe, and I watched Mike, and you know, I arrived before anyone got there, and I was very interested to see. I mean, I've always tried to keep an open mind about everything, and this sounds like way out in left field to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, it's a poison, but you're going to intentionally put it on your skin. So I watched Mike do it, but I felt I could see that there's something going on here, and just the entire experience. It's hard to explain. You're outside, you're on the ground. There's music playing. They put little burns in the skin. They call them gates, which I learned today. I'm gonna screw this all up. So
No, this
correct
is
me.
great. I love this.
Correct me at any
Yes.
time.
I love
So
you to explain it, since
Yes.
you just did
Yeah,
it for
yeah,
the
so I
first
just
time,
did
and
it,
you
so
don't
this
even
is
know what you
phenomenal.
did.
Exactly. So I watched them burn the gates into Mike first, and they were lighting sage in the beginning. They're kind of like cleansing the area, and there were 2 of you. Watched
2 of me.
you and
Okay.
your
Just making sure there wasn't
is she
just
a
2 of me.
shaman? Is she,
An assistant, yeah.
his assistant was there, and she was mixing up what looked like a concoction on like a piece of bamboo or something. It's kind of how I describe it, with a knife. And I'm like, what's going on here? But it looked like very small amount of some kind of substance. Then it was worked into like little tiny like pellets, almost like dots. And then I watched him take it with like the knife and put it onto the open area. And I could see, as soon as it happened, even before you started, that it was almost like a rush of it looked like your body was flushing, like starting to flush, like you could just see it coming, like rising up.
You see
And
the skin.
yeah, you'd see the skin. It looked like it was changing just a slight bit. We were outside, but I could see like it was just like a color and a change. And then you started to sweat a little bit, and had some, like, it looked like tears almost running
Yeah.
a little bit on the sides. And I guess you've been doing this for a while, so you were like almost like kind of getting ready, like knowing that it's going to come. You kept making jokes about how you purge quickly,
Yeah.
because it's almost like it's kind of muscle memory. You've learned that this
Mind
is what's
muscle
going to
memory,
happen.
yeah.
So it might have something to do with the environment, the music, the sage, everything. But I could see that it was coming, and had a big bucket there, and it wasn't a huge amount, but what looked like almost a yellowish substance coming out. And I sat there and I was like, wow, this is, you know, this has to be there has to be something to it. You could obviously see that it is It is working, whatever it is.
Yeah, like, why is Mike doing
Yes.
this?
Why is he
Why
doing
would
this?
Mike, out of everyone I know, be doing this? The
Yeah.
conservative guy.
Yeah, the conservative guy. And that's the thing. Like, if we
The conservative guy who likes to party. I mean, we should click.
Yeah, with Kambo.
let me be very clear to anyone listening to this. This was not a party.
Not a party.
No.
Okay,
this
it's not a
is like-
party.
this is called putting in work.
And but when I was there and I was like, I'm in Rancho Mirage in a beautiful home in the backyard in this environment, and there's never going to be another time where someone's going to ask me if I want to try some frog venom. And I've always considered myself to be like open to experiences and wanting to learn to be the best version of myself.
Mhm.
You know, that's what we all strive to do, is to be the best version of ourselves. And if something else, it's an experience that I've never had, and there's something about Mike Mead
Yeah.
that got me to his house at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a shot.
Yeah.
So I opened my mind to it and I said, okay, let's try this. So at first I was an observer, but I'm like, okay, we're going to go through with this.
He ripped off his shirt.
I ripped off my shirt. I'm ready to party.
Yeah.
No, but you give, you have to drink a large amount of water before you start. But you said that you normally don't go with water. You go with the cassava, fermented cassava.
Correct.
Uh,
You drink that today.
Yes, that's what I drank. It tastes a little bit, I mean, it had a little bit of taste to it, but basically it kind of, yeah, not much of anything. So I drank 2 large glasses of that, and then I sat down on the floor, and they did in my arm instead of, like, Mike, you had it in your back. Can you explain a little bit why you pick one area over another?
Yeah, absolutely. So, different points in the body allow us to release different things. For Mike, he's been working with me for quite some time now. And so we have specific areas that we work on for digestive system, for stuff like that. Typically, for our first timers, we'll usually work on the arm or the leg for women. And it just allows for like an easier, gentle experience. Not that it's gentle, but, a little easier experience. And then also, too, it allows us to see how you respond to the medicine. Right, if I'm behind you or working on your chakras and it's too much energy and you're not responding, I can't see you. So it allows us to be able to see you while you're in your first ceremony, and then also to apply that really gently so you can, go into your experience a little bit more easier than, uh, Mike, we just jumped on ready to go.
He was ready to
all
go.
4 dots, boom,
It's
boom,
like
boom,
throwing up
ready to
before you
go.
got there.
Yeah.
But so they put 3 dots on the 3 gates on the side of the arm, so you can see the 3 dots there. And then you prepared the little mixture or tincture of the paste that you're going to put on the areas. And it felt like a little tingle at first. All it felt like was just a little tingle of something, a little burn. But it was pretty quick after that for me. I was thinking, well, is this going to take like a while because I'm new at this, or is this going to be immediate? And I don't really know, because I was trying to really focus. I was trying to really focus on, like, let's get the most out of this. You asked me to set my intentions before this started, so I forgot that part. I'm not sure what it was exactly that you handed to me.
We handed you the stick that we made the gates with.
Okay, the stick that you made the gates with, and said, hold it near your heart and set your intentions. And I just asked God to show me what I needed to see from this. I asked to be open and to help me become the best version of myself, which is always what I ask God for in the way that I pray. And after that, the medicine was there. Immediate, after a few seconds, I felt like a warmth that sort of started lower in the body, in my stomach and in the front of my chest area, which sort of worked its way up pretty quickly. Now where's the anxiety kicked in? Like, I'm immediately like nervous. I'm like, okay, this is real. I hope I don't die. That's the first thing. Like, I'm trying to be like calm about it, but I kept thinking like, oh, is it going to be one of those things? Like, is this going to be a news story? Like, a guy was trying frog venom in Rancho Mirage and died.
Dude, I checked my insurance. I'm like, all right, I have a blanket coverage on top for deaths, another $2 million. I'm like, because I'm going to get sued.
Yeah, so I just,
Dude, I mean, it's like feeling your blood vessels dilate and your blood start to rush in that way is disconcerting.
yeah, I mean,
You're poisoned.
you're poisoned. You are.
Yeah.
And then a little bit, the heart started racing after the warmth and the heat. It was mostly just heat, but then the heart started racing. You're getting a little bit tachycardic, and then I'm getting nervous, and I could almost like feel the heartbeat a little bit, not here so much, but like starting to rise into my head. Like I could hear it or feel it a little bit in my head. And that's when I started to get nervous. I was trying to like sit still and like not lean too forward, because I heard that if you lean too, I don't know if you said it to me or I read it somewhere, that if you're constantly leaning over the bucket, you're going to get the swelling in the face and the lips and everything. And I didn't want to do that because I figured it would make me nervous. And then I started thinking, do I have any Benadryl in the car? Does he have an EpiPen on him? I should ask these things. What the fuck is wrong with me? So I was getting a little bit nervous. So I started fidgeting, like moving up, and like I'm like, okay, let's just get to the vomiting so that I can get this over with and be done. But I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't feel nauseous yet. I just felt the heart racing and everything. But then immediately it was like you feel it in your gut. It's almost like it's trying to bring whatever's out. Like I'm thinking, well, it's not, the poison is not in your stomach. It just can't be, but it feels like your stomach it thinks you ate something, maybe. I mean, in your mind, you believe you ate something that's doing this to you, so it wants to empty everything there. And I felt like I was ready to throw up and that I was going to throw up. I was even making like the noises, but nothing really was coming out from
You were
me.
throwing up like energy. You were just because I thought you were vomiting,
Yeah.
so I went and looked at his bucket after he's done, and nothing was in there.
Mm.
And I was like, dude, he vomited. I thought he purged.
So I tried. I even stuck my finger down my throat at one point because I felt like I had to. And then I made this really loud, like guttural sound where it was like, ugh, like I was throwing up. And then I thought it was done. Like, I don't know at what point you took the medicine off, but everything really, you said that there's an on-off switch for this. And I'm like, that can't
be.
can't be. But it really was. As soon as the medicine left, it starts to go slowly. Like everything immediately comes down the opposite way.
As fast as it comes on, it goes off.
And it goes off. And all I wanted to do was cry.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know why, but I just felt like it was one of those experiences where whatever you needed to get out of you, you got out of you.
Yeah, you expelled something, man.
And I've had that feeling all day. Like I'm ready to be a new version of myself.
Yeah.
That's really
Not that I didn't like the old me, but like I'm ready for the next part of my journey.
I was so proud of you that you were confident that you just wanted to observe. You're like, I don't want to do it. I'm just going to come and I'll watch. I'm like, all right, come watch. And then when I looked over, I was like, no pressure, but like the moment's here. Sometimes you just need to make a choice. Like, God puts you in places. It's either a test or it's an opportunity. And this is an opportunity. So you were like, shirt off, you went for it. And I was really proud of you. And I mean, Kambo is great for your immune system, right? That's why I do it. The peptide release is massive, and it can last 2 weeks. It can last a month if you eat well. You don't eat sugar, and you have a clean diet. And I have leukemia, right? I'm in remission. I don't have a spleen, and I don't want to die. So that's why I started doing it on a monthly basis to keep my immune system really high. And I very rarely get sick. And I have cold sores when I was younger, and now I don't have cold sores anymore. So it's like proof, like right there. Like that was a very aggressive cold sore that pop up every month, and now it's just maybe once in the last 8 years.
That's crazy.
It's just crazy because your immune system's higher.
One of the questions I have for you, I guess, is with all the people that have sat with this medicine, do most of them have the same sort of experience? Do they describe it the same way, or have you seen different types of reactions, like aggression, or what is it usually the same experience?
You know what? It can range, but a lot of release. Everybody releases in different ways. Some people are somatic. Some people are moving, releasing it with their bodies shaking. Some people are crying. Crying is one of the best form of release, especially for men, because we're told not to cry. And we have a lot of guys that come. I work with a lot of vets, and it's really beautiful to see the brothers being able to like just break down and cry, like have that moment. And then there's sometimes people scream. Some people not in a well, this particular girl that I almost walked out of, she was screaming like bloody murder. But some people release like just kind of like let that out. But typically it's those are the general ways that people release, and crying is one of the most common one.
What
Yeah.
percentage of the time is it the person asking you to take it off their body versus you see something or decide to take it off?
It just depends. To be honest, men tend to take it off a lot faster than women. Most women don't even ask to take it off. Really? Yeah. You
I don't know if they
so-
can get it as a toothpaste or something.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh, make me feel bad. You're like 3 minutes.
I'm right there with you, bro. I did Kambo the other day, and I was like 8 minutes in, and I'm like, take it off. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah.
Done.
We'll do it again in 20 minutes, but this one I'm done. Yeah. So typically, and guys, women go through so much pain and so much, they could tolerate so much more than us. They're very powerful beings.
Yeah.
So they come in and just like handle it. That's why I seen, Los's mom sitting there like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady's so badass. I got to do this. For me, if I see someone, and a lot of maestros are different. Some maestros will let you faint and allow you to be in your ceremony, passed out and come back, and leave the medicine on. I try to make this experience for people the most effective, but also something that they want to come back and they want to continue this work, because this is a journey. It's not like a one-time thing. This is something that, especially in the beginning time, I recommend doing like 3 times in a lunar cycle. Really get the cleanse down. Kambo's a very sophisticated medicine in a way that it doesn't like rip all the layers out at once, because some people couldn't handle that, right? So it kind of takes it down in layers. So doing that 3 cleanse within a lunar cycle is really good to get started. Sometimes people, when the fear kicks in and the anxiety kick in, they ask to take it off. And then usually, mostly it's on the first time, right? Because you're going through all these new experiences. One, you're feeling your heart in your head. Your ears are burning a little bit. And it feels like your heart's beating 1,000,000 miles an hour. Plus, you're hot and you don't know if you're gonna throw up. So, the first time experience, people are like, "Okay, I'm done. Take it off."
I mean, these aren't feelings that people choose normally. These are things that people are like, please make it stop.
Right.
It's work. If you want something out of anything in life, it's always hard. And if it's easy, it's like not worth having.
Well, we as Americans, we want our pharmaceuticals to be a pill you swallow, and you go back to the doctor in a few months and they tell you, you're all better. Everything is fine. You didn't have to change anything about who you are on the inside. You didn't have to do anything. And I think before this started today, as a pharmacist, it's hard for me to say this because, it's part of my business, but food is medicine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exercise is medicine. And I think it's important for people to know that. So anybody who's watching, pills are not always the answer. We have patients that will take Ambien for sleep, okay? Or they're on benzodiazepines throughout the day. They go to their doctor's office and tell the doctor, I wake up every morning, I'm super groggy. I can't seem to get through the day. I'm in a fog. What does the doctor do? Instead of like dialing down the Ambien, they'll add modafinil during the day to keep them awake, or give them a low dose Adderall.
Mhm.
So instead of like being reductive when it comes to our pharmaceuticals, we're pushing another pill. And it's a shame because, and then sometimes I'll be counseling a patient. They're like, well, you're the pharmacist. You're not my doctor. Like, give me my drugs. Like, just shut up and count the pills and put a label on the bottle.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, that's how we've been trained to fix things, is to always add instead of looking at our lifestyle modifications, looking at the things that we can do naturally. Food is medicine. Food is medicine, people.
Food is medicine.
You're
Yeah.
so gonna get fired. Like I'm gonna have
It's
to
a
like.
good thing I work for myself. I don't work for Walgreens or CVS
Oh,
or
you
anything
don't?
like that. So
Oh yeah, you're like
Yeah.
an independent.
yeah, I'm an independent pharmacist.
Thank God you're not like Mike. CVS fired me. You fund me a compound pharmacy in Palm Desert. I found this little spot. Be $500,000.
Yeah.
No, but I hear you. It's all truth. I think we're gonna end this half session, but we'll be back with part 2 for the rest of Ride with Larry and Jimmy.
Amazing. Thank you.